The slave went free, stood a brief moment in the sun, then moved back again toward slavery. W.E.B. Du Bois wrote those words. This is a story of how it happened. What do you call it when the government that freed you sells you back? 1865, Emancipation. 1867, 700,000 black men registered to vote. 1868, the South's first public schools. 1870, black senators in Congress. Over 1,500 black office holders across the South. The most democratic governments the region had ever seen, all of it built in 12 years. 12 years. That's how long black freedom lasted before America traded it away. Part 1. The coups. South Carolina, 1876. Martin Gary wrote the plan. An actual written document distributed to every county. Organize red shirt rifle clubs, disrupt Republican meetings, intimidate black voters, use force without hesitation. The plan was not secret, it was public. They called it the Edgefield Plan. The Democratic Party strategy resolution. Carry the election peaceably if we can, forcibly if we must. Red shirts marched through Columbia in formation, open, armed. 800 men attacked the black militia at Hamburg. Prisoners executed. At Ellington, another massacre. Then the election. More votes counted than registered voters. The surplus, uniformly Democratic. The fraud was visible in the raw numbers. They didn't need to hide it. They knew no one would stop them. Wade Hampton was installed as governor. The man the coup put in power was celebrated as a savior for over a century. A statue on horseback at the State House. Louisiana. The White League seized the state government by force in 1874. The Battle of Liberty Place. Armed men overthrew the elected government in New Orleans. Federal troops restored it, but the message was sent. The paramilitaries would keep coming until the troops left. A black political leader in South Carolina said, "We gave them our blood in the war. We gave them our votes in the peace. We gave them our loyalty in every election. And when they had used us to keep themselves in power, they traded us away for the presidency. We were the currency of the transaction." Part 2. The deal. What was black freedom worth? Exactly the price of a presidency. The election of 1876. Tilden versus Hayes. 20 disputed electoral votes from Louisiana, South Carolina, and Florida. The disputes all caused by the same thing, the systematic suppression of black Republican votes through violence and fraud. The constitutional mechanism for resolving it was unclear. The nation teetered on the edge of a second civil war. The Wormley House Hotel, Washington, D.C., owned by James Wormley, a prominent black businessman. In his hotel, representatives of the Hayes campaign met with Southern Democrats. The deal: accept Hayes as president. In return, withdraw the troops. Abandon Louisiana. Abandon South Carolina. Let the coup stand. 4 million black people trade for the White House. The president has deserted us. The party of Lincoln has deserted us. The government has deserted us. We are left to the mercy of men who have no mercy. What shall we do? Where shall we go? Who will speak for us now? After the troops withdrew. Between 1877 and 1950, at least 4,000 black people were lynched in the South. The real number is higher. Without federal oversight, extra-legal violence became the law. The Cascade after 1877. Mississippi Disenfranchisement Convention 1890. South Carolina 1895. Louisiana 1898. Poll taxes. Literacy tests. Grandfather clauses. White primaries. Black voter registration reduced to near zero. Plessy versus Ferguson 1896. Separate but equal. Jim Crow made constitutional. Sharecropping. Convict leasing. Vagrancy laws. Contract enforcement. Criminal surety. The black codes dismantled during Reconstruction were replaced by new laws that achieved the same purpose through different names. Freedom without federal protection meant freedom without substance. Frederick Douglass. The whole South, every state in the South, had got into the hands of the very men who held us as slaves. They were now our governors, our legislators, our judges, and the government of the United States which had freed us, said this was acceptable. A contemporary analysis: the abandonment of the Negro was a political necessity. The country was tired of the Southern question. The business interests of the nation demanded stability. The price was the liberty of 4 million people. It was a price the nation was willing to pay. Plessy versus Ferguson, 1896. Separate but equal, it stood for 58 years. Until Brown versus Board of Education, 1954. Part 4. But they survived. Without the government, without the troops, without the law on their side, they survived through armed self-defense, through churches rebuilt after every burning, through schools hidden in basements, through mutual aid societies, through sheer relentless refusal to disappear. From the book, a Winchester rifle should have a place of honor in every black home, and it should be used for that protection which the law refuses to give. The historically black colleges: Howard University, Fisk, Hampton, Atlanta University. Born during Reconstruction, still standing. The schools they tried to burn became permanent institutions. Education was the one domain where the Bureau's work proved genuinely transformative, because black communities took ownership and refused to let it die. The Long Resistance: 1877, Compromise. Troops withdrawn. 1892, Ida B. Wells anti-lynching campaign. 1909, NAACP founded. 1954, Brown versus Board. 1955, Montgomery bus boycott. 1964, Civil Rights Act. 1965, Voting Rights Act restores what they destroyed. 2013, Shelby County versus Holder. The court guts it again. Du Bois wrote, "If the reconstruction of the Southern states from slavery to free labor and from aristocracy to industrial democracy had been conceived as a major national program of America, whose accomplishment at any price was well worth the effort, we should be living today in a different world." They didn't lose their freedom because they couldn't govern. They lost it because they governed too well. The proof was there. Public schools, tax reform, civil rights laws, infrastructure. The South had never seen anything like it. That's why it had to be destroyed. Not failure, success. The evidence of what black people could build when given the chance was too dangerous to let stand. This story is from Reconstruction uprisings and coups. The War After Slavery, 1865 to 1900. The full history, available now. Until the next story, peace.